Welcome to the channel.
Alright, I never thought I'd be the type to share my personal life online, but here I am. Maybe it's the need to vent, or maybe I just need to hear what others think about this. Either way, here goes. A few months back, I had one of those meet-cute moments people always talk about, except mine was in the frozen food aisle of a grocery store. I was grabbing some late-night essentials, mostly snacks, let's be real, when I noticed a woman standing by the ice cream section, staring at the options like her life depended on it. She was stunning, long dark hair, confident stance, and a smirk that told me she was up to something. I wasn't planning on saying anything, but then she caught me looking and just straight up challenged me. "If you give me $10, I'll show you my tattoo." I blinked. What?" She tilted her head. "You heard me. $10 and you get a peek at my most scandalous ink." Now, I'm not some smooth-talking ladies' man, but I wasn't about to back down from whatever game this was. "How do I know it's even worth $10? She grinned. "You don't." I laughed, pulled out my wallet and handed her the bill, half expecting her to just take it and walk off. But instead she lifted the hem of her shirt just slightly, revealing a small, intricate tattoo on her ribcage. An elegant snake coiled around a dagger. She saw my reaction and laughed. "Told you it was worth it." That was how I met Monica. We stood there for a bit, talking in the middle of the aisle, completely ignoring the fact that we were blocking some poor guy trying to grab a bag of frozen peas. She was 24, a single mom, and had this mix of confidence and mystery that made it impossible to look away. I told her she was bold and she just shrugged. Life's too short to be boring. Before I knew it, I was asking for her number. She gave it to me with a wink and walked off, leaving me standing there like an idiot, wondering if I had just fallen into some kind of elaborate prank. Later that night, I texted her. "I think you owe me $10. That tattoo wasn't that scandalous." She replied almost immediately. "Then I guess you'll just have to take me to dinner to see the other ones." And just like that, I had a date. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I won't lie, I was excited about this date. Monica had this energy about her that made her feel different from anyone I'd ever met. Bold, playful, and way too comfortable messing with me. We met at this little Italian place downtown, the kind with dim lighting and overpriced wine. When I walked in, she was already at the table, twirling a straw in her drink, wearing a sleek black dress that made my brain short-circuit for a second. "You're late," she teased. I checked my watch. "I'm 2 minutes early." "Exactly. I've been waiting for 2 whole minutes." "Rude." I laughed and sat down, already knowing this wasn't going to be some dull, awkward first date. And I was right. Dinner was interesting. Monica was a talker, and she had no problem jumping straight into the deep stuff. "So, what's the worst thing you've ever done?" she asked, casually twirling spaghetti around her fork. I blinked. Define worst." She grinned. "Like something you'd never tell your mom." I thought about it for a second, then shrugged. "I might have accidentally keyed my boss's car after he made me work overtime for 2 months straight." Her eyes lit up. "Oh, I like that. Petty revenge. Respect." Then she leaned back in her chair and sighed. "Okay. My turn." And that's when things got complicated. Monica told me about her past. How she was married at 19 to a guy she thought was her forever. How he bailed on her the second she got pregnant. How he later died in a freak airborne training accident. Heavy stuff. But she told it all with this detached, matter-of-fact tone, like she had already processed the pain a long time ago. Then she dropped this. "I wasn't exactly a saint either. I did some wild things back then." I raised an eyebrow. "Wild how?" She sipped her wine, eyes locked on mine like she was testing me. "Let's just say my morals were flexible." I won't lie, my stomach twisted a little. But she laughed and shook her head. "Relax. I'm not some heartless villain. I just made mistakes." Who hasn't? She had a point. And honestly, the way she owned it without a hint of shame or excuse-making made me respect her. At least that's what I told myself. I should have seen it as a red flag. But I didn't. Instead, I found myself leaning in, more curious than cautious. She smirked. So, you still think I'm worth that $10? I grinned. I might need to see a few more tattoos before I decide. She laughed, and just like that, any doubts I had were pushed to the back of my mind. I had no idea I was walking straight into a storm. After that first date, Monica was all I could think about. I'd had relationships before, some good, some bad, but none of them had ever felt like this. It wasn't just the attraction. It was the way she carried herself, like she had seen it all and wasn't scared of anything. We started texting all the time. She'd send these random, flirty messages at the weirdest hours. Monica, tell me something exciting before I fall asleep. Me, I once snuck into a concert by pretending to be a security guard. Monica, bad boy. I like it. Now tell me something worse. It was always like that. A game. A challenge. Like she was constantly testing how far I'd go, how much I'd open up, how much fun I could handle. The second date happened fast. She invited me over, said her kid was with her parents for the weekend. When I got to her place, she greeted me at the door wearing nothing but an oversized band t-shirt and a mischievous grin. I should have known then that I was in deep trouble. That night I saw more of her tattoos. And by saw, I mean I traced them with my fingers while she whispered things that would make even the smoothest guy lose his mind. It wasn't just physical though. After we lay in bed for hours talking about everything, our childhoods, our dreams, the things we regretted. But then, in the middle of laughing about some stupid childhood story I told, she got quiet. I need to ask you something, she said. I propped myself up on my elbow. Shoot. She hesitated. If someone makes a mistake, do you think they should be judged forever for it? I could tell this wasn't just some hypothetical question. No, I said carefully. I think people can change. If they want to. She stared at me for a long time, then nodded. Good answer. That was it. No explanation. No follow-up. Just a small, knowing smile before she kissed me again. Looking back, I should have pushed for more. Should have asked her what she was really trying to say. But I didn't. Because by then I was already hooked. For the first few weeks, things were intense. The kind of romance that burns fast and bright. Monica had this way of making everything feel like an adventure. Late-night drives, deep conversations, random dares. One time, she even convinced me to sneak into a hotel pool at 2 a.m. just for the hell of it. But then, little things started to nag at me. It was small at first, her phone always face down, getting texts late at night but never checking them around me. She'd randomly zone out like she was lost in thought, then shake it off like nothing happened. One night, we were watching a movie at her place when her phone vibrated. She glanced at it, her whole expression shifting for half a second before she flipped the phone over and forced a smile. Everything okay? I asked. She nodded too quickly. Yeah. Just, my friend being annoying. I let it go. But then another time, we were out getting drinks when a guy walked past our table. Monica stiffened. She turned her head away, suddenly super interested in her cocktail. The guy though? He definitely recognized her. He smirked, gave her a small nod and kept walking. I didn't say anything right away, but I filed it away in the back of my mind. A few days later she called me out of nowhere, voice a little shaky. Can you come over? When I got there she was sitting on her couch, hugging her knees. I need to tell you something, she said. My stomach tightened. All right. She hesitated, then sighed. You're gonna hear about my past eventually, so I might as well tell you myself. I just sat there waiting. She exhaled. Before my ex-husband, before my kid. I wasn't exactly a good person. I did things I'm not proud of. Like what? She looked at me, debating how much to say. Then she shook her head. I partied. I cheated. I hurt people. The words hit harder than I expected. Cheated. She bit her lip and nodded. Yeah. A few times. I swallowed. And now? I'm not that person anymore, she said quickly. I swear. That was a different life. I grew up. I had to. I wanted to believe her. I did believe her. But a tiny voice in my head whispered, what if she hasn't changed? I pushed it down. Because the truth was I didn't want to walk away. Not yet. After Monica's confession, things were weird. Not bad exactly. Just different. I told myself it didn't matter. People change. She said she changed. But once someone plants that seed in your head, it's hard to ignore. The late-night texts. The way she'd get distant sometimes, like she was carrying some invisible weight. The guys we'd run into who definitely knew her, even if she pretended they didn't. And then there was him. One night we were at a bar downtown, just having a couple of drinks. Everything was normal. Monica was laughing, teasing me about my boring drink choice, whiskey neat, and I was enjoying the night. Then, out of nowhere, she stiffened. I followed her gaze and saw a guy watching us from the other side of the bar. Tall, built, with that cocky smirk guys wear when they know they've got history with a woman. Monica turned back to her drink, her fingers gripping the glass tighter than necessary. "Who's that?" I asked. She forced a smile. "No one. I wasn't stupid." The guy started walking over. Monica whispered under her breath, "Please don't start anything." That alone told me everything. The guy leaned against our table, ignoring me completely. "Monica. Been a while." She smiled, but it was tight. "Hey, Travis." Travis. Great. Even his name sounded like trouble. He chuckled. "Didn't think I'd see you back here. Thought you were done with all this." His eyes flicked toward me, finally acknowledging my existence. "This your new guy?" Monica reached for my hand, gripping it like she was trying to anchor herself. "Yeah. Travis, this is Rob." I nodded. "Hey." Travis smirked. "Nice. She tell you about us?" Monica's nails dug into my palm. "Travis." I kept my expression neutral. "I'm guessing you're an ex." Travis laughed. "Something like that." Monica shot him a glare. "Travis, seriously. Just let it go." He tilted his head. "Let what go?" Then, turning to me, he added, "She tell you how we used to have a little thing when she was still married?" I felt like the air got sucked out of the room. Monica's whole body went rigid. "You're a jerk," she muttered. Travis just shrugged. "Just thought your new boy should know what he's signing up for." He patted my shoulder like we were old buddies and walked off, leaving me sitting there trying to process what just happened. Monica looked at me, eyes pleading. "Rob." I pulled my hand away. "Tell me he's lying." Her lips parted, but no words came out. And that was enough of an answer. We left the bar in silence. Monica kept looking at me like she wanted to say something, but I wasn't in the mood to hear it, not yet. My head was spinning. I knew she had a past. She told me she cheated before, but hearing it from some random guy like a punchline to a joke was different. It felt personal. Like I had just gotten a glimpse of the version of her she swore was gone. When we got to her place, she finally spoke. "Can we talk?" I leaned against the kitchen counter, arms crossed. "Start talking." She sighed, running a hand through her hair. "Travis is just trying to mess with you. He always does this." I frowned. "So he was lying?" She hesitated. Just for a second. But I caught it. "Not exactly," she admitted. "But it's not what you think." I exhaled sharply. "Monica. Just tell me the truth." She groaned, pacing the room. "It was a long time ago, okay? My marriage was already falling apart. I was miserable, my ex was barely around, and I made mistakes. Travis was a mistake." I stayed quiet, waiting. She turned to face me, eyes desperate. "But I am different now. I haven't cheated since. I wouldn't cheat on you." I wanted to believe her. But the way she always dodged things, the way she had to be cornered into honesty, it made me wonder how much she wasn't telling me. "I need to think," I said finally. Her face fell. "Rob, please. I don't want to lose you over this." I rubbed my temples. I need time." She nodded slowly, biting her lip. Okay. I walked out, my chest tight. I wanted so badly to believe that people could change. That Monica had changed. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was just another guy she'd eventually lie to. I didn't text Monica for a couple of days after that night. I needed space. Needed to clear my head. Of course, she didn't give me much of it. First, she sent a few "I miss you" texts. Then, a long message about how she knew she had messed up, but she was terrified I'd leave before she could prove she wasn't that person anymore. I didn't respond. Then came the guilt trip texts. Monica. I get it. You think I'm a lost cause. Maybe I am. Monica. I just wish you could see how much I care about you. But I guess it doesn't matter. That one got to me. She knew what she was doing. She wasn't outright begging, but she was playing the "I guess I'm just trash" card. And I fell for it. I showed up at her place that night. She opened the door with puffy eyes like she had been crying. Or maybe she made herself cry before I got there. Who knows? She hugged me the second I stepped inside, burying her face in my chest. I'm so sorry, Rob. I sighed, wrapping my arms around her. I just need honesty, Monica. I need to know that if I ask you something, I'm getting the whole truth, not pieces of it. She nodded quickly. I swear. No more secrets. So I asked her. Was Travis the only one? Her body tensed for half a second. Not long. But long enough. Yes, she said softly. I pulled back and looked her in the eyes. Are you sure? She hesitated, then forced a smile. Of course. Something about the way she said it made my stomach twist. I should have walked away right then. But instead I kissed her. Because I wanted to believe her. Because I wanted to believe that whatever mistakes she made were behind her. Because I was an idiot. I didn't know it yet, but that night? That was the night I walked straight into the trap. Things went back to normal after that night. Or at least they seemed to. Monica was on her best behavior. She texted me first thing in the morning, sent me cute selfies throughout the day, made plans before I could. It was like she was trying to prove she was all in. And maybe I wanted to believe it too badly. Then one night it all fell apart. It was almost midnight when my phone started buzzing. I was half asleep, but when I saw Monica's name I answered. Hey, what's up? Silence. Then a man's voice, low, slurred, and smug. Yo, is this Rob? I sat up fast. Who is this? A small chuckle. Damn, bro. She really didn't tell you about me? My heart started hammering. Tell me what? He sighed like he felt bad for me. Look, man. I ain't trying to start drama, but if your girl's been acting all lovey-dovey with you, she's playing both sides. I gripped the phone tighter. Who are you? Name's Eric, he said. And let's just say, Monica's been keeping me very entertained lately. The line went dead. I stared at my screen, my blood boiling. Then, without even thinking, I grabbed my keys and drove straight to Monica's place. She answered the door in a hoodie and shorts, sleepy-eyed. Rob. I held up my phone. Who the hell is Eric? Her eyes flickered. Just for a second. But I caught it. I don't know an Eric. My whole body tensed. Don't lie to me. She crossed her arms. I'm not lying. I have no idea who you're talking about. I let out a sharp laugh. Funny because some guy named Eric just called me from your phone. Said you've been keeping him very entertained. Her face went pale. Wait, what? Then suddenly she turned and ran inside, grabbing her phone off the couch and checking her call log. I swear I didn't call anyone, she muttered. Then how did some random guy get your phone and my number? I snapped. She shook her head frantically. I don't know, Rob. Then, right in front of me, her phone buzzed. A text from Eric. Hope I didn't ruin your little game. Winky face. Monica's hands were shaking. This isn't. I grabbed my keys. Save it. She reached for my arm. Rob, please let me explain. I yanked away. You already did. And then I walked out. Because this time, I finally knew the truth. I didn't sleep that night. I just kept replaying everything in my head, over and over. The phone call. The text. The way Monica's face drained of color the second she saw his name. She was lying. I knew it. But the worst part? I still wanted to hear what she had to say. The next morning she blew up my phone. Monica. Rob, please, you have to let me explain. Monica. I swear I didn't cheat on you. Monica. Please just talk to me. I ignored the first few messages, but eventually I caved. Me, explain. Not even a second later my phone rang. I answered, keeping my voice cold. Talk. She took a deep breath. Okay, I do know Eric. But it's not what you think. I laughed bitterly. That's what they all say. I haven't been with him, she insisted. He's just some guy I used to talk to before I met you. I cut him off, but I guess he's still bitter about it. I clenched my jaw. Then why was he on your phone? She hesitated. I don't know. Bull. She groaned. Rob, I swear to you I never called him. Maybe he took my phone when I wasn't looking, or maybe... I cut her off. Or maybe you're just lying again. Silence. Then, softer, I'm not lying to you. I exhaled, rubbing my temples. Look, Monica. I really wanted to believe you were different now. But this is the same crap you pulled before. More silence. Then suddenly she broke down. Rob, please, she whispered, her voice shaking. I know I messed up in the past, but I'm not that person anymore. You mean so much to me. I don't want to lose you over this. I sighed, my resolve cracking just a little. Then tell me the whole truth. No more half-truths. No more dodging. Just everything. She sniffled. I already did. I closed my eyes. Then I guess we're done. She let out a shaky breath. You don't mean that. But I did. I had to. I hung up before she could say anything else. Because deep down I knew, if I let her keep talking I'd fall right back into her trap. I stayed strong for 2 days. No calls. No texts. No checking her social media. But Monica? She wasn't about to let me go that easily. On the 3rd day, I ran into her completely by accident. At least that's what she claimed. I was grabbing coffee before work when I heard her voice behind me. Rob. I turned around and there she was, hair perfectly done, wearing the same hoodie of mine that I knew she still had from one of our sleepovers. Oh, she said, like she was so surprised to see me. Didn't think I'd run into you here. I narrowed my eyes. You don't even like this place. She shrugged. I was just craving their croissants. Yeah, sure. I sighed. What do you want, Monica? She bit her lip. Just to talk. Please. 5 minutes. I hesitated. I should have walked away. But part of me still wanted to hear what she had to say. So I sat down, arms crossed. Go ahead. She leaned forward, her voice soft. Rob, I swear I never cheated on you. I don't know why Eric called you, but I haven't spoken to him in months. He's just trying to mess with me. With us. I studied her face. She looked genuine. But then again, Monica always looked genuine when she was lying. I exhaled. Then why did he say what he said? Why did he sound so confident? Her eyes flickered. I don't know. Maybe he's just bitter. Maybe he wanted to break us up. I wanted to believe her. Then she reached across the table and grabbed my hand. I love you, Rob. My whole body stiffened. She had never said that before. Not once. I swallowed. Monica. She squeezed my hand. I mean it. I don't want to lose you. And just like that, she had me questioning everything again. Maybe she was telling the truth. Maybe Eric really was just some bitter ex-fling trying to sabotage her happiness. Maybe I was throwing away something good over a misunderstanding. Maybe I was the problem. I sighed. I need time to think. She nodded quickly. Take all the time you need. I didn't realize it then, but she had already won. Because the second I let doubt back in, she had her hooks in me again. I told myself I was just thinking things over, but the truth? I was already halfway back in Monica's web. She kept her distance, only sending the occasional text. Hope you're doing okay. Thinking about you. Just enough to keep me hooked, but not enough to make me feel smothered. And it worked. By the end of the week, I was convincing myself that maybe I had overreacted. Maybe Eric was just some bitter ex trying to stir up drama. Maybe Monica really had changed. Then, the universe smacked me upside the head. It was a Friday night. I had plans to go out with a buddy, but at the last minute he bailed, so I ended up at a bar alone, nursing a beer. That's when I saw him. Eric. I didn't even recognize him at first, but when I heard someone say his name, I turned and realized, that's the guy. I could have ignored it. Should've. But my feet were already moving before I could stop myself. Eric. He turned, eyebrows raised. Do I know you? I clenched my jaw. Yeah. You called me the other night. From Monica's phone. Something flickered in his eyes. Then, slowly, a smirk spread across his face. Ah. You're Rob. I crossed my arms. Tell me the truth. What's your deal with Monica? He laughed. Oh man. She really got you twisted up, huh? Answer the question. He sipped his drink, then leaned in. We've been seeing each other for a while. On and off. She always comes back. My stomach twisted. That's not true. Eric tilted his head. You sure? I clenched my fists. If you're so confident, show me proof. He grinned like he had been waiting for me to ask. He pulled out his phone, tapped a few times, and then turned the screen toward me. There it was. Texts from Monica. Her name clear as day. Flirty messages. Plans to meet up. Even a selfie of her in bed, one I had never seen before. My whole body went cold. Eric chuckled, pocketing his phone. Sucks, doesn't it? Thinking you're the only one. I didn't say a word. I just turned and walked out of the bar, feeling like the biggest idiot on the planet. Monica hadn't just lied. She had played me for a fool. I don't even remember the drive to Monica's place. All I know is 1 second I was standing in that bar staring at Eric's phone, and the next I was banging on her door like a madman. She opened it looking surprised, maybe even a little guilty. Rob. I held up my phone. Eric just showed me everything. Her face went pale. Want to try lying again? I snapped. She swallowed hard. Rob, please just let me. No, I cut her off. I gave you so many chances to tell me the truth. And you just kept lying. Over and over. Tears welled up in her eyes. I was scared. Scared of what? I demanded. Getting caught? Losing your safety net? What? She stepped closer, reaching for my arm. Scared of losing you. I jerked away. You lost me the second you decided I wasn't enough. Tears spilled down her cheeks. It wasn't like that. I laughed bitterly. Don't feed me more lies. I saw the texts. The pictures. Everything. She covered her face with her hands, shaking her head. I didn't mean to hurt you. That's the thing, Monica, I said, voice cold. You didn't care if you hurt me. You only cared if you got caught. Silence. She knew I was right. I turned to leave, but she grabbed my hand desperately. Please, Rob. Don't walk away. I looked at her one last time, my heart pounding. You don't deserve me, I said. And deep down you know it. Then I walked out. For good this time. Walking away from Monica felt good. For about 10 minutes. Then the anger hit. Not just at her but at myself. For ignoring the red flags. For giving her so many chances. For letting myself believe even for a second that she had changed. By the time I got home, my phone was already blowing up. Monica. Please just talk to me. Monica. I swear I never meant for this to happen. Monica. I love you, Rob. Please don't throw this away. I blocked her. Then I sat on my couch, staring at the wall, trying to process everything. It wasn't just the cheating. It was the lies. The constant manipulation. The way she looked me in the eyes, swore up and down she was different, and still went behind my back. And worst of all, I let her. I let myself believe in her because I wanted to. Because I thought maybe, just maybe, she was telling the truth. But people don't change. Not really. My phone buzzed again, this time a call. Unknown number. I hesitated, then picked up. Hello. A familiar voice. Eric. Yo, just wanted to say, good call, man. I gritted my teeth. What do you want? He chuckled. Relax. I ain't calling to gloat. Just figured you should know, Monica hit me up right after you left. My grip tightened on the phone. Of course she did. She wanted to explain. He laughed. Same thing she told you, I bet. That it wasn't what it looked like. I rubbed my temples. And what did you say? Told her to lose my number. He sighed. Look, man. She does this. She plays games, keeps guys wrapped around her finger until she gets bored or gets caught. You're not the first and you won't be the last. I didn't answer. Because deep down I already knew. I hung up and sat there for a long time, staring at the ceiling. This whole thing. It wasn't just about Monica. It was about me learning the hard way that if someone shows you who they are, believe them. I thought blocking Monica would be the end of it. That I'd finally be free of her. I should have known better. A few days passed in silence. No calls. No texts. Just me trying to pick up the pieces of my self-respect. Then, out of nowhere, she showed up at my job. I had just finished a meeting when I walked into the break room and saw her standing there, arms crossed, eyes red like she had been crying for days. My stomach dropped. Monica. What the hell are you doing here? She let out a shaky breath. I needed to see you. I glanced around, lowering my voice. You can't just show up here. She stepped closer. I don't know what else to do, Rob. You blocked me. You won't talk to me. I feel like I'm losing my mind. I clenched my jaw. Not my problem. Her lips trembled. I made a mistake. I know I did. But don't I at least deserve a chance to make things right? I scoffed. Make things right. Monica, you didn't just make a mistake, you lied. Over and over. I asked you for the truth and you fed me whatever story you thought would keep me around. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I was scared. I shook my head. No, Monica. You were selfish. She swallowed hard, wiping her face. I love you, Rob. I exhaled slowly, forcing myself to stay calm. If you really loved me, you wouldn't have done this. Love isn't just about feelings, it's about choices. And you chose to betray me. She stared at me like she was searching for something, some sign of weakness, some hint that I might take her back. But I had nothing left to give. Finally she nodded like she finally got it. So this is it? She whispered. This is it, I said. She wiped her face one last time, turned and walked away. I should have felt relief. But all I felt was exhausted. Because even after everything, part of me still wished she had been the person I thought she was. After Monica walked out of my job, I expected that to be the end of it. I was done. She knew it. There was nothing left to say. But of course Monica wasn't the type to really let go. A week passed. No texts. No calls. I started feeling like I could breathe again. Like maybe I was finally moving on. Then, late one night, my doorbell rang. I checked the peephole. Monica. Soaking wet from the rain, arms wrapped around herself like some pathetic movie character. I should have ignored it. Should have walked away. But stupidly, I opened the door. She looked up at me with those teary eyes. Rob, can we just talk? I exhaled sharply. Monica. No. She swallowed hard. Please. Just 5 minutes. I crossed my arms. Why? So you can cry and tell me how much you regret everything. So you can make me feel sorry for you. Her lower lip trembled. I don't know how to let you go. I clenched my jaw. Not my problem. She let out a shaky breath. I miss you. I laughed bitterly. You don't miss me, Monica. You miss the version of me that still believed your lies. Silence. She looked down, nodding slowly. Then, softly, she whispered, You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I shook my head. And you threw it away. She wiped her face. I know. We stood there for a long moment, rain pouring down, both of us knowing this was the final goodbye. Then finally she turned and walked away. I didn't call after her. I didn't run after her. I just closed the door. And this time, I really meant it.
Bye.